Oh my gosh, it's TikTok time to rock. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to do a Monday show. And I can say Monday because we are on the same part of the world where Monday is a Monday for you. It's Monday evening, Monday late afternoon for you. So that's great. No one's waking up early in the morning and no one's staying up and no one's drinking coffee to, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm drinking coffee for everyone else. So,
Oh my gosh, my friend, it's good to see you. We were just having a bit of a chat offline, guys. So we've got some plans coming up for the show. Really appreciate the support. We were just debriefing about yesterday's show, the Hendrix show, the blues show. Really humbling to get some positive feedback from you guys, and especially the comments that we got in the chat. Really cool to see that you guys were blown away by Brad's guitar playing. Phenomenal. If he's not going to say it, but we're going to say it. We're going to say he's on fire.
Thanks.
I was gonna swear, but I
thought you were going to swear. Look, it's very nerve-wracking playing Hendrix live. I can tell you, like that sort of thing. I mean, sitting there just going, "Oh, yeah, this is how you do this." It's like, wow, man, that's pretty ballsy. But yeah, thanks, Andrew, and thanks everyone in the chat. It was good fun. I've watched it back now. There's a few little fluffs here and there, but it is what it is. I hope everyone got something from it. Had some decent comments and private messages from people. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, look, it's what we do. Yeah, it's what we do. It's a gig and you're doing it live and you're pulling out a guitar. I'm glad I didn't swear. We've got our co-host from the Sunday show in the chat, our very, very good friend Simon in there. And, so he's there making sure we don't use potty mouths.
Yes.
But seriously, we won't do that. Look, we've got Arvin in the chat, Teresa all the way from Brazil. What time is it in Brazil, Teresa? Because it'll be, is it in the morning over there? We've got Mark Tanner. Well, thank you, Mark. Who else have we got in the chat? Who else? Nelson Rodriguez. Oh my gosh. Yep. This is your show today. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm just going to say, guys, thank you for joining us. And if you give me a second, there should be. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Where am I? Where is he? Here, there he is. Okay. So we got to do this. We're for the people that do watch the replays, because we do get a few people watching our shows afterwards, so that's always nice. So if you are watching our show on replay, thank you very much. We don't acknowledge the people that watch our shows after enough. We always thank the people in the chat, but we want to thank you for watching the replay, because obviously there's something about what we do that makes you guys keep coming back. So thank you for the thumbs up. We really appreciate that. There's Brad at Brad Cook Music. Follow him there. During the course of the show, I'll flick up some other social media accounts. We are streaming this show on one Facebook group. We are streaming it on this Facebook group here, all about the blues, home of the British Electric Blues Show. Now, you might be thinking, what connection does Lenny Kravitz has to the blues? And I know the reason. There is a reason. And Brad is here to talk about those connections and those reasons and why you need to, if you haven't discovered or heard Lenny Kravitz, why you need to give him a listen. So tell us all about it, bro.
Well, for me, Lenny Kravitz was, I was heavily influenced with, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix growing up. And through the 90s, obviously, I was listening to a lot of bands. One of my good friends said to me, "Have you checked out this guy, Lenny Kravitz?" And he described him to me, this guy with dreads. And I thought, "Is that Terence Trent D'Arby you're talking about?" He's like, No. This dude's called like Lenny Kravitz. You got to check him out. And I was like, okay. So I checked it out. And the first clip, obviously, that was relevant at the time was Always on the Run.
Yep.
And obviously it had Slash in it. So straight off the bat, I was like, oh, wow. I mean, everyone knows how my connection with Slash and how, what I personally think of Slash as a guitar player. So I actually heard Slash for the first time playing music that I wanted him to play. Not that I didn't dislike Guns N' Roses, but I just loved hearing him play that funkier style on guitar. It was amazing. Obviously, I looked into it more, and I bought the record, Mama Said, when that came out. That was the first record I bought. It was relevant. It just came out at the time. And I could hear everything, blues rock, classic rock, psychedelia. I could hear everything in there that resonated with me as a guitarist, as a musician, up-and-coming musician. And I just thought, look, what better way than to, I'm currently in a lockdown situation here in Melbourne. And I just thought, well, we've spoken briefly about Lenny Kravitz a couple of times, and Andrew and I had a little bit of a discussion in the green room after one of the shows. And, I said, let's do a Lenny Kravitz little thing, not necessarily a deep dive into the record as such, but, just go over some of the songs that I think are relevant listening, and you guys can make your own assessment whether you are into it or not. But I'm sure with the followers we've got in our channel here, a lot of us love the same styles of music. We love Clapton, we love Hendrix, we love, the Beatles. We've done shows on the Beatles, we've done shows on Derek and the Dominoes, we've done shows on, Led Zeppelin. I mean, if you love all those things, you're really missing out if you're not listening to Lenny Kravitz. That's without a doubt. He's got, he's an amazing songwriter, producer. He plays the majority of his instruments on his albums. Still to this day, a massive influence to me in the songwriting department, as a musician, as a singer, as a guitar player. And he's got one of my favorite guitarists, is his side person, basically Craig Ross, who's featured in that picture in the right-hand side of the screen there with the white Les Paul. So, I know Andrew and I were talking about guitar players, and Craig Ross came up, and I think we both resonate with his playing, because you can hear Eric Clapton, you can hear Jimmy Page, you can hear a lot of funk players as well. You can hear definitely hear Hendrix at times. But yeah, there's some amazing material that I think we're just going to do a bit of a dive into, and some essential tracks that I think you guys should be listening to. And if you like what we do here, then maybe we can do a deep dive into a Lenny album at some time, starting with maybe, one of his most popular ones, like Are You Gonna Go My Way or Mama Said, and deep dive into that later. But I mean, what were your thoughts on Craig Ross as a guitarist, Andrew? I know you've spoken to me offline about it, but let everyone else know what you think.
Look, I think let's start with Lenny, for example. For me, Lenny is the total package, and I'll tell you why I think he's the total package. You've hit the nail on the head. You've spoken about the fact that he's got blues, he's got funk, he's got pop music going on. He's got that pop element. He's got rock and roll. He's got that swagger that Simon likes to talk about and mention, and that swagger is something that's inherent to you as a rock and roller, as a guitar player, as a musician. It's a bit of authenticity, and And in a industry that's full of shitbags, scumbags, fakes, and rip-off artists, what I liked about Lenny is that he was authentic right from the word go, and down to his look. And we like to talk about this. We talk about how Keith Richards, in '72 looked cool. We talk about, Michael talks about how Journeyman era of Clapton, where he's wearing those Armani suits, looks cool. Lenny's always looked cool. The total package. And then obviously you listen to his music, and he's one of the few musicians that manages to pull all these different fields together and do it well. And that's what I like about Lenny. And clearly one of the reasons why Lenny has that ability is because he's like Tom Petty. Tom Petty always had to have Mike Campbell there. Mike Campbell, he had to have that guitar player, the guy that was going to give the edge. And the edge. Hey, even Bono's got the edge. But you gotta have, if you're going to be the front man, if you're going to be the face, if you're going to be the face, you got to have someone to lean on to push you. And so I'm glad that Brad is going to talk about them together, because you have to negotiate that. You got to remember that that they are a total package, and I look forward to it. But yeah, look, I love it. I'm going to just say one more thing too before I hand it over to you. Lenny Kravitz, again, is a guy like those late 60s, early 70s rockers. Every guy wanted to be Lenny Kravitz when that album, his greatest hits album, came out in 2000 especially. It was everywhere. All my friends had it.
Yep.
All my friends. We were listening to it all the time. But all the guys wanted to be Lenny Kravitz, and all the girls wanted Lenny Kravitz.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So, when I got into the record, Mama Said, I went out and bought his first record, which is Let Love Rule. And this record here is, in my opinion, something you can listen to from start to finish. It's a journey.
Yep.
If you haven't listened to this record, you really, really, really need to go and do so. I'm pretty sure it's on all streaming platforms now.
Yep.
But this record here, from the very start, he set himself up as an artist. He was actually, there's a really good documentary that, it's behind the music sort of thing that I sent Andrew a link to. We might share that later on in the comments section after the show, so you can go and watch it. It only goes up to his 5th album, but it's really good about who he was and where he came from. And, his name was, he nearly called his stage persona Romeo Blue, and he changed it back to Lenny Kravitz because he felt that just was better, and his family agreed, obviously, because it's an amazing record. It's got some amazing songs on it, like from the very, there goes the CD, Sitting on Top of the World, Dropped on the Floor. It's got Let Love Rule, Freedom Train, My Precious Love, I Built This Garden for Us. Pretty much every song on here is not a skip. You really need to listen to it. It's an amazing record. I bought this, I don't know, when brashes here in Australia were still relevant for $19. It's funny. Just
when did
amazing.
that album come out? When did they drop that album?
This was 89, I think.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Yeah, so 89, and I'm pretty sure Mama Said was 91.
Yes.
91, which I was just getting into. Actually, here's a bit of a show-off thing. I went to see Lenny for the first time in 1994, and that's my ticket stub. And that's the first time I went. Sydney Entertainment Centre, Universal Love Tour, one of the absolute best shows I've ever been to in my life. And he had 2 nights at the Entertainment Centre booked, and they sold out. Like, they sold out instantly. So they announced a third night. So I bought tickets for the third night because after the first show, I went with a bunch of mates, and we said, "Oh, one night's enough. We don't need to see him twice." And we went the first night, and then the second night, we're like, "Damn it, we can't go the next night. Let's go to the third night," because we would have bought tickets for all three. So I bought this one's faded a fair bit because it was I left it out, but it's 2 nights after. So that's 1994 Universal Love Tour, and there's some amazing footage on YouTube of him at Wembley Stadium performing, which was at the same time. So I highly recommend everyone go and watch that later on as well. That was an amazing performance, and from there, just honestly, I was like, that's what I want to do as a musician. I want to be doing what he does, like staying true to what is, what he loved, the style of music he loved. And to me, it was an amazing show. And I've had the fortune to be able to see him in 2012. He played in Melbourne again on the 17th of March. And he performed a ton of older stuff and new stuff. He's meant to have come out again since then, and he cancelled that tour. And then because of the pandemic, he was meant to play here in 2020, which I was taking my son along to. And that was it. He cancelled. So obviously I've got a very upset son, and myself are pretty upset that it's been twice now that I haven't been able to see Lenny, which is a damn shame. But Let Love Rule. There's a couple of tracks on there I want to highlight. Probably would be Let Love Rule, obviously, Freedom Train. Just throw the whole damn album on. Just listen to it. Don't worry about track on that. I want to know from that.
I just want to jump in, and I've just Googled the Sydney Entertainment Centre, because here in New Zealand, that was like a mecca for a lot of acts, because, in the 80s, it was the place that everyone went to, even Dragon, which was a New Zealand band, recorded a famous album there at, the Sydney. So, that had 14,000 people, man. So, it held a lot of people. Unfortunately, it closed.
Sold out 3 nights in a row. Basically, the first 2 nights sold out within half a day. And then the third one went on sale after the first gig was so people were leaving the venue and buying tickets from the Ticketek stand that night for the third night. So that's a good way to sell tickets for a show. You sell out one show, then sell them straight after that gig, pretty much sell out by the end of that night. So that was an amazing experience. At that point in my life, I'd only seen a handful of gigs, by the way, too. So that's why that sticks heavily into my mindset. So that was an amazing show. And obviously, this record here has been re-released.
I'll present you. Hold on. Yep.
There's a 20th anniversary. And there is a 20th anniversary of Let Love Rule as well. This has got a few extra things on it as well. But this is this would be probably one of my favorite Lenny Kravitz records of all time.
Yep.
There's just so many amazing songs on here. This is a guy that was going through heartbreak, turmoil. Yes. He, that all resonates with a lot of us. I'm sure we've all been through heartbreak and turmoil and whatnot. So this, in particular, this album he dedicated to his wife or ex-wife, almost ex-wife at this point in his life. But yeah, an amazing record and just the coolest dude. I mean, pretty cool, man. I mean, you can't sort of say that he didn't have an image. He
total package.
Yeah, he definitely had the package, man, for and still to this day, he still looks amazing and he sings amazing. He performs amazing. He's a health nut. He lives in the Bahamas now. Bahamas. So.
what I always loved about Lenny, and look, I know he's a talented instrumentalist, and Brad's going to talk about that, so I'm not stealing any of his thunder. But what I always loved about Lenny is the richness of his voice. Go and check out those albums that Brad's talking to you about a contemporary artist who has the ability to, he can sing like Smokey Robinson, up here, which is not, which is his first single. It ain't over till it's over, because that's what he was trying to. What's the word? Trying to sort of like emulate, and then he can put on that deep voice, and he can just, yeah.
He's an amazing musician, and I want to highlight that he did perform and record most of the instruments himself on the first two records, and through his career he ended up doing a lot more, and just some of his recording would be just in collaboration with Craig Ross, his other guitar player, whom joined him for Mama Said record. So Craig Ross isn't on the first record with Lenny Kravitz, but he toured with him, and obviously then they started recording Mama Said and whatnot. So there's Mama Said, I was just quickly talking about, there's a few tracks on here I think everyone needs to dive into. I wish we could play the songs on here, Andrew, but obviously we'll get flagged. So if you're got Spotify, I'm sure you'll get these songs up, or any streaming platform. Fields of Joy, that song that features Slash on guitar, Fields of Joy, and that song was what made Slash and Lenny collaborate. Lenny was recording this album. He met Slash at an MTV Music Awards, and Slash went up to him and said, "Hey man, I love your album, me and my missus cuddle to it." Yeah. So that being said, they struck up a friendship, and that they were from the same place. They went to the same school apparently, but they were never friends. And I may be wrong there. Someone might be able to prove me wrong, but that was what I read. And then he went to the studio, recorded an amazing guitar solo for Fields of Joy. Just if you want to hear Slash just playing with his head back and pure, there's that's an amazing guitar solo, and I can sit and listen to it over and over and over and repeat, and there's just so much feel in it. I'm pretty sure it would have been a pretty powerful recording session that they went through. But from that, Slash came up with a guitar riff and started warming up, playing with it. And he's playing it in front of Lenny, and Lenny goes, "What the F's that?" And he goes, "Well," he goes, "it's a song I've been writing for Guns, but it's too funky, so it's not working." So Lenny goes, "Oh, let's work on it." So they worked on it together, and before you know it, we had Always on the Run, which was Lenny's one of his biggest singles, and the film clip features Slash in it as well. That to me was a game changer for me, that particular film clip, because I watched it and I just wanted Slash to join Lenny Kravitz's band at that point. I was just like, I wish he'd leave Guns N' Roses and join Lenny Kravitz, because it was like everything that captured everything for me as a musician, as a guitarist. I was like, I want to be the side guy playing next to Lenny Kravitz like that. Like, I want to do that. That's my future. And so watching that and hearing the guitar solo, like there's two guitar riffs. Slash has got the main riff. He plays that riff, and then Lenny comes over the top and plays like a funkier version of the riff, which is sort of like on the offbeat. So I mean, I could almost demonstrate it because I know them both, and it's one of those things where they just work so well together. And
that intro is fantastic, mate. It's nice and crunchy. It's beautiful, and then you don't know quite where it's going, and then Brad is right, and then you get the funk coming in, and it's like,
yeah, with the horns and everything. It's just, it's, but I'm always on the horns and the outro. It's like
Johnny Bean.
Here he is. I don't think I've got a siren here. I didn't expect a Johnny Bean raid.
No, it's just Johnny. It's Johnny and his cat.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, how are you? I haven't got my raid siren. Sorry, buddy.
It's Johnny and the cat.
My raid siren's gone. So yeah, that being said, that's an amazing record, and I think everyone needs to go and check that out. Always on the Run, Stand By. Again, just listen to the whole damn album. Let's not. It's just one of those records you need to listen to from start to finish, and it's a heartbroken guy. He's written an amazing album. So I mean, I remember. Look, that's another thing I wanted to also mention.
Did he marry Lisa? Did they marry? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he married Lisa, and they had a child together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because she was a bit funny. Was she? Yeah, something. Yeah.
She's
she
an
ditched him.
Yeah. Well, that Lisa left him, but we don't know exactly sure why and that. But it would have been because of he started he started to live the rock and roll lifestyle. We talk about Craig Ross. I think everyone needs to go and try and find this on a streaming platform. Check this out. It's a little bit different to what you'd expect, but it's really, really amazing. So
okay, so I'm going to look for that and see if that's on Spotify. So just hold on, bro. I'll just see.
So everyone needs to check that out. That's Craig Ross. Kudos, Craig Ross. We love you, buddy. You're a legend. You're an absolute legend in my eyes, anyway. Yeah. So Lenny, at that point in his life, was going through a fair bit of turmoil. He was touring a lot. He released these are all this stuff here is stuff I bought back in the day. They're all singles, all these.
No, Craig's not on Spotify.
Right. So all these are CD singles. I bought these when they came out at the time. It's amazing to think like you had to buy CD singles. Now you can just stream it, $4.95 a song. So, but the reason I bought them is because they had live stuff on it or B-sides and things like that. So that, it's pretty amazing. I actually got the single to that. And that featured some amazing songs as well that didn't make the album. So that's worth checking out. I think those songs are on Spotify or Apple. I'm not sure. I don't really use streaming that much. American Woman. That had some cool live stuff on it. That's a cool one. So again, I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's some amazing stuff here. He actually released a tour version of the next album, which was absolutely incredible because it had, not only did it have the full-length record on it, but it had like an EP of extra tracks. So I went out and bought this, obviously, when it came out. I think everyone owns it. Yeah. That's done the hard yards, this thing. This has been around Australia about 20 times with me in a bus. Everything was CDs back here. Wasn't, that's done the hard yards. I've read this liner notes book thing so many times, man. It's just that this is the thing I miss with
streaming.
With streaming, you don't get all this stuff. The backstage, the recording pictures. Lenny and him recording bass. He's got a bass player in there. That's Craig Ross. Just like that stuff you don't get anymore unless you buy the record. But this, where is it? I just had it. This was the tour edition, and it featured like another EP almost in it. So it had extra tracks. So it had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 extra songs on it to.
Okay, cool.
And I think those songs are now on streaming as well, and an acoustic number and stuff like that. So that was, I've spent a lot of money on Lenny Kravitz. So sure he owns half a house. I've paid for half his house, I think.
I, I,
So
I think it's fascinating that you've got CDs, and yeah, it's great. It's just awesome. And how many times have been around Australia? 20 times.
yeah,
What's that?
I mean,
Oh, look at that.
this record in particular, it's almost like a mandatory play from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot sort of skip a track on this. I mean, I'd love to deep dive into these at some point too, Andrew, but this in particular, for me, was a game changer for me as a musician. And it, even now, like say moving forward to like last year, guys like Lenny Kravitz inspired me to, there was two guys that really inspired me when I thought about what they were up to and things like that. One was Lenny Kravitz, one was Philip Sayce. They were like, that was what pushed me to do my own thing. So, Lenny's, I hold him quite high as an influence. This was a really good one. This came out with 1, 2, 3, 4 live tracks. This was really cool. This was Is There Any Love in Your Heart, which is on one of the singles he released on Are You Gonna Go My Way record. And it had on it another song on it called Spinning Around Over You, which is a song that wasn't on the album. Then it had Freedom Train, Always on the Run, and Stop Dragging Around as the live tracks. But the live tracks are phenomenal. If you can track it down, and it came with a poster I never removed because I didn't want to ruin it. But it's oh, there you go. It's not nearly pulled out. This is really old too, but I won't pull that out because I want to preserve it as part of my collection to, pass on to my son. He loves Lenny Kravitz too. So probably because I just play it all the time and he's got no choice.
Well, he's like his old man. He knows good music. Yeah. But, yeah. I think it's fascinating.
And it's fun. One thing Lenny did was always release like singles and put different things on the back of the singles, where a lot of artists these days, I mean, that's a lost art now. I know other bands used to do that as well, but it seems like a lost art, releasing a single and putting on acoustic versions of it, a couple of live versions, and then, so they're like little mini EPs or something. They're just short of an EP as opposed to just one song. Kind of, the whole streaming world has taken away, in my opinion, the novelty of, what I'm going on about here. But so Is There Any Love in Your Heart was an amazing single off that, off this record. But if you can get your ears around, what song was it? Believe. One of my dear friends who's not with us anymore, I'll never forget every time I listen to the song Believe, which is a single off this record. I remember pulling up to his house and listening to him, learning the solo to Believe note for note. And I've never sat and learnt it deliberately because I want it to remain that meaningful for me. But like every time I hear that solo on that song, I get emotional because he's no longer with us. But I remember he was like a big inspiration for me as well. Listening to other people play Lenny Kravitz's stuff, it just inspired me. So, so my good friend Dan Yazbek, whom I went to this gig with in 1994, which was, Lenny holds a pretty dear place in my heart with a lot of this stuff. And going back, listening to it's like a time capsule. I don't know if you guys get that from music. So, but Lenny, after that, was going through like a fairly dark period. Every interview he was doing, everyone wanted to know about who he's dating. No one wanted to know about his music. Everyone would talk about who he's dating, what he's up to. It was kind of frustrating for him, and he felt like he lived in a circus. And at this point in time, when he did, Are You Gonna Go My Way, he'd released some beautiful songs like Believe, Come On and Love Me, Heaven Help, Just Be a Woman, Is There Any Love in Your Heart, My Love, Sugar. There's so many great songs on there, so I encourage everyone to listen to that from start to finish. But just going back to where he was at this point in time, he was he felt like he lived in a circus, because his life revolved around everyone loved his music, but everyone wanted to ask him about what was going on in his personal life, which was not important to him, because he just became an artist and recorded songs purely. One of those artists that didn't worry about being perfect on a record. I mean, you listen to Let Love Rule, the first song, he makes a vocal mess up in Sitting on Top of the World. Deliberately, he just leaves it there. It's like, well, it sounds great, so I'm leaving it. And by the time he got to Circus, his record Circus, that's how he felt like his life, he's living in a circus, you know. And he, for lack of better ways of putting it, it's a darker album. It's a very dark album. It's got some great tunes on it, though. Tunnel Vision, there's some great songs on it. Tunnel Vision is one of the ones that was always a massive one for me. Rock and Roll is Dead, which Prince wrote him a letter saying it's not dead as a response. There's documentation of that on the internet if you want to look that up. Notably, at this time, by now, Kravitz had written music for Madonna, Testify My Love, which was a massive single for her, went to #1. He'd written for Aerosmith. He'd written with Mick Jagger. He'd worked with a lot of musicians, like as a producer and a songwriter, and even performed on their records. There was a song on here that I loved, Magdalene. There's a song on here called he was searching at this point in time. There's a song on here, what's it called, Resurrection. It's a very dark record. The photography in it is a little bit out there, but he was going for a quite a unique feel. He always had, that's probably indicative of how he was feeling at the time, So there was always a statement in his music, strange photos, but this is I will note that he's big on photography and art and collecting things. He's interior designer. He's done some not just music stuff, but I think that's how he felt. That was indicative of how he felt.
Yeah, I think the problem with Lenny early on, I don't know. Well, it's not a problem, but it's a fact. The fact with Lenny is that he married one of the most famous Cosby kids in the world, and the Cosbys were, as we all know, was huge. And so wherever Lisa Bonet went, that movie that she did, Dark Angel or Angel Eyes or whatever, with Mickey Rourke, it was just huge, and Robert De Niro. So it's a fact that Lenny got caught up in that kind of tornado as well as creating his own hurricane. So, these two kind of vortexes were banging together. So, a little bit sad. Bro, before I get you to carry on, I just want to do a couple of shout outs. We've got some cool people that have jumped in. Will, thank you, Will. Our very good friend Sonia, thank you for jumping in. Nice to see you. It's 3 a.m. where Will is. So, these people are quite keen to get some updates and some information on Lenny. We have Mike Rogers in the chat. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for joining us. And Daddy Bean, we've already said hello to Daddy Bean and Ned. If you can give Ned a kiss for us, Johnny, we'll be happy. And who else have I missed? I think we're pretty well caught up. Sorry to interrupt you, bro. But we've got to do these shout outs. Sorry, bro.
I'm in my own little world, guys. So I'm glad that Andrew brings us back down to earth, So g'day everyone in the chat, and thanks for joining us. It does mean a lot to us, and if you haven't already, if anyone's watching this later, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and all positive stuff. We're all about positivity. So yeah. You know, it's funny, we're talking about Lenny Kravitz, but you know, I listen to Lenny Kravitz weekly. He's like just on my work playlist. You know, it's one of those things I listen to him regularly. Notably, around that time, Circus came out. It wasn't a very successful record for him in America, but it went ballistic in Japan. So he toured Japan, and at that particular time, his mother was going through cancer and was on the verge of passing away. So he was in a pretty dark spot as well. So you know, I'm going to encourage everyone to go and watch this little behind the music thing later on too. There's a bit of an insight, and it goes up to his 5th album, but it's really good to check out. But you know, he played a lot of the instruments on all his records. You know, he plays drums, plays a lot of the bass. He gets a bass player in here and there. Him and Craig Ross, you know, sort of share guitar duties, and keyboard, plays a lot of it himself. By this point in time, Lenny had been staying true to himself as a musician, and basically he was, you know, always getting knocked for trying to sound like the Beatles, or trying to sound like, you know, Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix, and he was just like, well, no, I'm not. I'm just playing music I love, and you know, that's basically what it was. By this point in time, though, he sort of got to his 5th album, and there's a reason that he called it 5, not just because of the fact that it was his 5th album, but he called it 5 for a number of reasons, which you know, spiritual and things like that. Then the number 5 had relevance to him. But yeah, he released the album 5, which was a bit different for him. He embraced a lot more modern technology, which he'd never done, and still wrote music that he loved, but he embraced a lot of the modern technology, some electronic drums and all sorts of different things. But notably, he played the instruments, but there were sounds of electronic stuff. And there's some amazing songs on here, you know. And the persona thing, it's just like, he was a dude, you know. He was, you know, at this point in time, he still had the dreads, but they were coming off. And I want to show off a little bit. I did meet Lenny Kravitz, and I got him to sign that for me.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was a very brief encounter. It wasn't.
42 minutes for the thumbnail. 42 minutes, guys. Okay, cool. That's it, bro. Thank you.
The reason I wanted to show that was because of the signature. But yeah, so that's a wonderful album. There's some beautiful songs on it. I encourage everyone to go and listen to it. There's some amazing songs. Some of the ones that I think are notably worth listening to would be the first track, Live, I Belong to You, If You Can't Say No, Thinking of You, which is written for his mum, Fly Away, which is one of his hits, Stray Cold Player. Look, just listen to the whole damn album. That's all. That's great. It's there's no skips for me. That's the I can't really sort of, you know, skip any Lenny Kravitz songs, but that's an amazing record. And you know, when I did meet him, he surprised me because he was very reserved and quiet, very humble, and I always thought he was like this big tall dude, and he wasn't very tall at all. He's quite, you know, he's wearing heels, and you know, and he was wearing like silver and white and all sorts of like glittery stuff. And yeah, he, for lack of better ways of putting it, he surprised me. He wasn't tall. I was expecting to be looking up at him, and it was just like, you know, so he's not a massive, big, tall dude. And so that's an amazing record. I don't know if anyone's actually listened to that or not, but you know, I've been reading the comments, but what's happening in the comments there, Andrew? Anyone sort of mentioning anything about these albums or anything?
Yeah, they're just going, wow, Teresa is clearly clearly Lenny Kravitz nut too. So you and her, she's in good company with you there. She knows it all. I think everyone's Sonia's saying, wow. Mark is heavily influenced by Lenny too. Just rates him as a total package.
Yeah.
So that's good, I and Will obviously. So, that's the great thing about doing these early week shows or midweek shows. Whenever we're going to schedule them, there's going to be semi-regular shows that we want to do. That just that's a little bit left field of what we normally do with the Van Halen show and on the Sunday show, just to share some passions that we have with other artists and other music that inspires us. And I think the good thing about what Brad is illustrating for us is that his depth, the spectrum of music that influences Brad, which comes out in his own EP. So you guys need to check out Brad's EP because there are elements, and he's not going to kick us in the bum by saying, well, there's not, because there are elements of Lenny in certainly some of the playing, and check it out, because I don't think we talk about Brad's music, his EP, enough here.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. I definitely, I've had some reviews on my EP from articles here and websites and things like that, and they have mentioned the Lenny Kravitz thing, which is very cool for me, because obviously you can see I'm a nut for Lenny Kravitz. So it's one of those things that comes through. Look, the solo in one of my songs, Planet of Love, which is one of my singles, and I've got a video out on YouTube for it, and that the solo was based around trying to make it sound like Craig Ross. Basically, I just wanted that same feel. So there you go. There's that influence is there. But at this point, there's a Lenny started changing his sound and everything like that, and at this point he cut all of his hair off because he felt like he at this particular point in time he's carrying a lot of negative energy in his hair, because that is a spiritual thing as well. So he released this album Lenny, which was it's not one of my favorite Lenny albums, but there's some great tunes on it. And if you listen to it as an album, not trying to listen to it for a particular song to find like the single on it or something, it's great. So it's a deeper cut album. It's a transitional type thing for Lenny. There's a lot of tunes on there that are a little bit more. I can't get the glare off. It doesn't matter. They're a little bit left of where he was as an artist, but he's a cool dude, and if you appreciate the music, then so be it. It's there's some cool songs on there. Stillness of Heart was one that I highly recommend. Battlefield of Love was good. So I'm just looking at the Believe in Me was a good one. There's just some cool stuff in this. It's worth showing, because you don't see this on the Spotify and streaming platforms. He's all about showing himself off too. So so there's a really cool picture of him here, which I always thought was pretty cool. This one here. Oh, this one. So yeah. Style. He was all about style as well, and he still is, And if you check out like where he's at the moment, he still looks like that age. He doesn't look a day older.
No, we've got D-Tube in the chat saying g'day as well. Very good friend of the channel. Thank you, D-Tube, for sharing the stream yesterday. Really appreciate it. And I've got to look. Will's talking about the size issue with Lenny. I understand. I'm only 5'7". When I lie to people, I usually stand on a skateboard deck. When I take a photo, it gives me an extra inch. Oh my gosh, you guys in the chat and girls.
Look, I mean, I'll quickly whisk through some of these other ones. Like this is a great album too. Great artwork as well. Baptism is called. So he's obviously going through a searching period in his life. Ministry of Rock and Roll's cool off this one. Calling All Angels, I loved that song. Where Are We Running? There's some great stuff on there. He did a collaboration with Jay-Z on this one as well. And I mean, the artwork's great. And I encourage everyone to buy CDs. Don't buy. Give the artist some money. That's what I always say.
So check out what Brad said there, because our North American friends probably don't know who Jay-Z is. But, when we go to school here, they teach us to say the alphabet properly. We say Z, not Z. So you guys in North America call him Jay-Z.
Yeah, exactly. We learn proper English. So, yeah, there's Lenny laying down the drums. And there's some great, back making of stuff on YouTube. If you watch, you can watch Lenny recording songs and everything. There's so much cool stuff floating around thanks to YouTube that makes it amazing. There was a great a great one he did that's featured on YouTube at the moment somewhere, where it's touring through Australia, and he's in Sydney, Australia, and things like that. This is basically the tour I was at. So the album, I really dug this one. There's some great stuff on here. Love Revolution, Bring It On, Good Morning, Love, 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 all the songs. This is worthy of listening from top to bottom, without a doubt. It's amazing. And he had a really cool look happening here. If we're talking about looks and stuff like that, I just think he had a really cool look happening, and I mean that's his selling point. He had a persona and a look, and it's just what he was. I kind of liked it. I liked him without the dreads. I thought he looked pretty cool too. Without the dreads, I thought he looked pretty cool. So I always wondered what was in those dreads. I'll tell you a little story. When I was at the entertainment centre in Sydney, he was running through the crowd during Let Love Rule. And there was this girl that just grabbed one of his dreads and pulled on his head so hard that his head went back, nearly ripped the dread out for sure, I reckon. Yeah. Didn't come out, but geez, mate, it would have been close. Would have been damn close. Yeah. It was amazing.
Did security do anything to her?
I don't know, mate. He just took it in his stride and kept running, but yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, I mean, look, he's done some other amazing albums as well, like Black and White America, which is, he's big about the statement. I mean, he had a black mother and a white father, Jewish background, and he was just, I'm not going to go into all that too much, but there was a lot of darkness in his life and a lot of stuff, and this is a bit of a statement for him, this record. Some great material on it. It's a lot funkier. It's great. There's another one called Strut, which I've kind of lost here in the mix of all my stuff, and I'm sure it'll. So Strut, I can't find it. It's in here somewhere, but Strut had some amazing tracks on it as well. There's one on there called Sex, The Chamber, Dirty White Boots, New York City is one of my favorites. There's a couple of songs on here that got a real Mick Jagger feel. So that was around the time I was working with Mick Jagger. And then his latest one is Raised Vibration, which, if you haven't heard this, then it's different again. It's about, it's a very spiritual album in the way that it's like, we can get it together and things like that. Like, it's basically about raising vibration, and there's a song in there called Low, which is really cool. But I love the packaging. There's something quite unique about Lenny with his packaging. It's all about good photography. There's something really deep about all that stuff. He's playing a Music Man bass there, which is really cool. And just like all the lyrics and things like
Music
this.
Man's close to us.
Yes. And Lenny was, in my opinion, he's just a cool cat, you know. Just cool. He's but anyway, that's pretty much all the albums. I mean, I could go through for hours about Lenny Kravitz's songs and what to listen to, but I encourage everyone, and I hope maybe with us talking about all this, Andrew, you know, people will go and check out a little bit more Lenny if you haven't already, you know, and dive deep into the records. I strongly recommend you get into, you know, Mama Said album, Are You Gonna Go My Way, and Let Love Rule. They're like classics in my opinion. They're classics, and they were massive sellers at the time too. You know, so there's some amazing stuff on YouTube of Lenny. Some gigs that are fantastic. You know, what more can I say, Andrew?
Yeah, I think your passion for Lenny is infectious, and I think that's one of the great things that we do here is, you know, when we're talking about something that we like, you know, if we're ranking an album that's a classic album, you know, and we're on fire for it, that infectiousness comes through, and it's really cool because we get that from the comments in the chat, and obviously from some of the comments left afterwards, and you know, being part of this evening with you is really, really great. I just want to add a couple of little things. I remember, I think it was my brother. I don't know. We were somewhere and we were having some drinks, and there was a friend, another mutual friend of ours, a guy called Albert Romley, and a couple of other cats. Now, we were good friends, but I didn't like their music because these guys were listening to Sepultura, Napalm Death. They were listening to all this kind of weird shit, Blood and Rain, all this kind of death metal stuff. But they were friends, and when they would come to my place, they knew that they would never bring anything like that because I had baseball bats, you know. and if you brought anything, if you brought a cassette tape or a CD, it got it, you know, because you couldn't play any of that stuff in my pad. But I remember we're having a few drinks. It was summertime, and I remember somebody brought that "Are You Gonna Go My Way" CD and stuck it on. And the first song, obviously, is the single, and we'll talk about the video afterwards. But I remember distinctly, and it's one of those things, you know, that we've all probably been part of, where people are talking and something like that, and you put something on, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's something new, and then everyone is going like this, you know, and it's like, holy shit, what is this, you know? And then someone said it's Lenny Kravitz, and people. Can't be. This can't be. This can't be Lenny Kravitz, you know. And then we were just, it was one of those really cool moments. And then not long after that, watching the video, and you know, he's playing that flying V, and the people around, and he's dressed in that red, and I'm going, oh, this cat is man, he's just gotten cooler again. And then that guitar player, Craig Ross, and he's playing that Telecaster Custom, and I'm going, oh no.
Yeah, I remember. I really encourage everyone to go and watch his film clips. They're all very artsy. He's very particular with his film clips. So he's not just a creative force musically. He's a creative force in so many ways that his film clips, like you were just saying, Are You Gonna Go My Way? It captured so many people because it was visual. It was like freak out. We talk about that freak out element on the freak out, far out. You know, there was a lot of that there, and that captivated people because you need your pulse checked if you don't start moving when you hear You're Gonna Go My Way when the bass kicks in.
Oh man, oh,
you know, and that to me is probably, you know, a staple for a bass sound for me. It's like got that massive body bass. It's not tightened up and lost in the mix. It's up front. There's no hiding it. and there's an amazing amount of space in the music, so you can hear the drums, the bass, the guitars. That record in particular, Are You Gonna Go My Way? The film clip for Is There Any Love in Your Heart? That was incredible.
Yeah.
And then the next album, like Circus, if you go and watch the film clip to Rock and Roll Is Dead, it's like freaky. It's like, what's going on here? So. I encourage everyone to go check out his film clips. But I vividly remember the first time I saw Are You Gonna Go My Way film clip. My mouth dropped, and I was just like in awe, because I was just like, wow, this dude's next level. He's doing something that's old school. He's doing it now. It's relevant now. Everyone else is doing stuff that's different, and people wanted him to change. And I'll highlight that he stuck to his guns basically and said, no, this is what I do. This is what I do. People were offering him deals and stuff, but they wanted him to be something different that he didn't want to be. And he was like, no. So, it doesn't work for every artist, but thankfully it worked for Lenny, because he's been a source of inspiration for so many, including myself. So, amazing.
That's awesome. It's awesome. We've got some couple of cats in this chat, mate, that we haven't seen for a long, long time. Gussie Wells, good to see you, bro. Thank you. I hope you're okay. It's been a long, long time. Brian Spalding's jumped in. Brian Spalding's got long hair, and so he knows about the getting hair pulled thing. Dang, he said, the burden of having long hair, because Brian's probably had his hair pulled left, right, and center when he's been on stage. Who else is in the chat? Mitch Harmon, our friend from America. Good to see you, Mitch. Always a pleasure jumping on. I hope you guys will take, as Brad said, an opportunity to check out Lenny Kravitz, because he is the total package. He is a guy that transcends genres. And I know that we talk about this, or you hear about that a lot, from established music journalists and music publications and all that. But we're telling the truth, because we're organic fans. We're the same as you guys. So we're not fakers. We're not fakes. We're the same as you guys. And if Brad's telling you it's cool, that's all you need to know.
What I say goes. I like that, Andrew. You're good in my books, mate. I like you.
Oh dear.
I just wanted to, basically the whole idea of today was to normally at this time of the day I'd be sitting down having a coffee, just probably listening to music, and I thought we might as well talk music. And Andrew and I were talking about Lenny Kravitz. I said, let's just do it on Monday instead. And so
yeah.
And and I hope that it highlights a few things for people. And I sit and jam along to Lenny Kravitz with my guitar. It's just one of those things that whenever I feel like picking up guitar and playing something that's not classic rock, but it is classic rock, like something that resonates with me. It can be a mellow song, it can be a full-on song, it can be a I just saw Simon put a comment up there. Is Sly? Yes, definitely. Sly was a massive influence. James Brown as well. Prince. So many artists. He was. It's amazing. He's performed with Prince a few times. Lenny Kravitz has, and one of the most amazing tributes I saw to Prince was done by Lenny Kravitz. So check that out, guys. Too. It's on YouTube. So you just look up Lenny Kravitz Prince tribute, and you'll see him doing it. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's tear jerking. It's amazing, because he wrote with Prince as well. He wrote with Michael Jackson. There's a couple of tunes that come out, Michael Jackson tunes that were written by Lenny Kravitz, and he featured on some of the tracks. So he's just one of these guys that he turned into a producer, a songwriter. He wrote for other artists, a lot of artists that interesting enough, Craig Ross doesn't get enough credit, and that's why I want to give him as much credit as we can here, because he's the sideman for Lenny Kravitz, but he's a big part of Lenny Kravitz, without a doubt. You see Lenny and Craig Ross still collaborating all these years. There's some cool stuff, talking about like guitar playing and stuff where Lenny and Slash, for example, wrote. Well, that was kind of mirrored with Craig Ross, probably a little bit truer to what Lenny was doing as well. So, yeah, Craig Ross, definitely a phenomenal guitar player, phenomenal. But even like when Craig Ross is playing like the Always on the Run live, he pretty much just gives it the Slash treatment. He wants it to be the same. It's phenomenal. He's a great player, but his songwriting ability is up there. He wrote a lot of the material with Lenny Kravitz here and there, but he's a cool guitarist. He's got some great gear, and his use of pentatonics, his major and minor pentatonics, is phenomenal. His solo on that song "Believe" off "Are You Gonna Go My Way" is still one of my favorites. It's a gut-wrenching solo. It's if it doesn't bring tears to your eyes, then there's something wrong with you.
Okay, so you're always going to get asked this question. When you meet a Stones nut, they're going to ask you this question. When you meet a Beatles nut, they're going to ask you this question. When you meet a Clapton nut, they're going to ask you this question. Oh my God, the list can go on. What album, out of all the albums you've introduced us to this evening, one album, what's the album?
That's a really difficult one. Probably, I'd have to say, "Are You Gonna Go My Way?"
Oh,
Mama said, or "Are You Gonna?" Mama said, or "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" I like this for me. They're like, it's hard to. Hang on, let me flip a guitar pick. So
okay.
that is "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" and the blank side is
Mama show said. Both those sides. Okay.
So that's Mama Said.
Okay.
That's "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" All right. So
all right.
Here we go. Okay.
Oh, how do we know?
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll take him at his word. No one else will, but we will.
Actually, one of the things that's amazing about "Are You Gonna Go My Way" for the song, for example, is that it's probably the most simplest guitar lick to play on guitar, and it's a massive hit. You think about it. They just kept it simple. It's not tricky. It's not intricate. There's not a lot in it. It's basically an exercise, a bend exercise. And it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just like that's all it is. It's incredible. And then the unison.
I was born long ago. I am the chosen number one.
Yeah, and it's amazing how that became one of the biggest songs of the 90s. It's amazing.
But all I really want to know is,
yeah. That's
the anthem.
It's so easy, and it's amazing how that became such a big hit, and it just goes to prove it doesn't have to be too clouded, too difficult to resonate with people.
Keep it simple. Kiss.
Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid. Even their name says it.
I look. Let's go left field here because we were always pretty good at keeping on track on this show. But let's go left field. I remember I got told, what KISS stands for, Andrew, and I said, I have no idea. And they said, Knights in Satan's Service. And I remember, wow, really? Then I found out and it just stood for exactly what Brad said. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, actually Lenny Kravitz did there was a Kiss tribute album that came out called Kiss My Ass, and Lenny Kravitz does a song on that because he's a Kiss fan as well. So that's worth checking out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool. There's Lenny. I should probably just go over the again, Always on the Run. I should go over that riff because there's
Cool.
a couple of. Do you guys mind if I do that?
Go for it.
It's probably worth highlighting because it is. It's a classic. It's a classic riff. Might as well, huh? So there's two parts to it. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yep. Sounds good.
That's one part.
Awesome.
That's Lenny's part. That's the Slash part. But that I actually like the Lenny part. That's so cool. So yeah, that's amazing to me that they wrote that and that they made a song out of that. So cool. You know. So
simplicity, but seriously, yeah. Look, someone's upset that we made a Kiss reference. Sorry. Sorry, Will. It's Will. It was Will. He's upset. Don't leave us, please.
Edit it out, Andrew. Edit it out.
Okay, but yeah, you know, slick riff. Brian's saying, yeah, it's slick. I know what that means. It's a slick riff.
Yeah, it's sleazy. It's classy. You can hear where the funk is. You can probably hear why Guns N' Roses wouldn't have used that riff. You know. And
big time. You know, oh no, it wouldn't have worked
because they tried rehearsing it at sound checks and stuff to get it right, and they just couldn't get that feel. And then obviously with Lenny's band, it just worked. So,
wouldn't it be great to see them collaborate again? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, just on I think it's pretty much common knowledge now, but for a while there, when Velvet Revolver, which was Slash's band. When they parted ways with Scott Weiland, Lenny went in and jammed with them, and that was going to nearly turn into something, I think.
Oh, really?
So that would have been pretty cool. I still live in hope that one day those two will do more together, you know. So I was hoping that when Slash released his solo album with all different singers on it, I was hoping that it would have what's this one? I won't leave Andrew. I just thought I was okay. Guitar Hacks channel. I don't know. It must be some sort of Kiss reference.
Yeah, because Guitar Hack, who we all love, and he does stop by every now and again. We love you, Guitar Hack, but he's a Kiss nut. He can sit and talk. He'll talk Kiss from the sunrise to sunset.
I won't say. I'm not going to say anything bad about Kiss at all. I'm not going to say anything.
No. well, look, Sonia's nailed it on the head. Kiss was okay until AC/DC arrived with their hits.
That's true. Look, Kiss have a spot in history, and there's nothing wrong with them. You know, they wrote some great catchy tunes, and they made a lot of people happy, and you know, so it's one of those things. They're
check your DM on Instagram, the Pride of Gothenburg. Okay. So that's a new person in the chat. So Pride of Gothenburg, thank you for joining us. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. While I'm talking about that, you know how we mentioned Warren yesterday, so he's sent a monthly subscription to the channel to help towards our StreamYard subscription. So Warren, thank you for that. We appreciate any help that the channel can get. If anyone else wants to help the channel with up and coming competitions that we've got planned or anything like that, or just wants to help with our StreamYards account until we get 1,000, there it is there on the bottom. You can PayPal the channel at donkerr@extra.co.nz. We'll take anything. We'll do anything for $1.
Just about.
No, those days are long gone.
Well, you've let go a bit, Andrew, haven't you? You've let go. Actually, I think we're going to do it first here. I think what we should do is probably, we're at 560 something now subscribers. Are we, Andrew?
560. Yeah. So look, a goal of 1,000 by December would be really good, and we need you guys' help. So,
I was going to say, let's start promoting it that we want you guys to help us get to 1,000. So we can monetize a little bit more for Andrew, so that he's the money that comes out of his account to keep StreamYard going for this show. So plus he's got to pay me, and he's got to pay Simon, he's got to pay Kurt.
Oh my god, these guys, they're just such a drain. Robot Master Switches in the chat. Hey, Robot. And look, we should do a shout out to our co-hosts too, because if we're going to be flying pilot and co-pilot here, we're going to always acknowledge our co-host, Simon, who's in the chat. Thank you, Simon. And also our Van Halen brother, Kurt, from the 5150 show. So we want to do a special shout out to him. He watches some of the replays that we do. And I think this is probably a good time to remind you guys, subscribe to the channel, because Brad and I are going to be on Saturday afternoon, our time here, which is Friday for you guys in the US, Friday evening. And we're going to go through the Carnal Knowledge album. Not ranking the tracks or anything like that. We're just going to have a laid-back show. We're going to talk about the album. We're going to talk about what we like about that era. We're going to talk about the DVD that came out. No in-depth analysis. We save all that stuff when we've got the rev on. Yep. So it's just going to be pretty much a show like this evening. Just two cats talking about one of our favourite eras of Van Halen. So if you guys want to be part of that, we'd love you guys to jump in and share some of your thoughts. And then the following week, we're back with ranking the tracks. So I worked out in my small little brain, it's taken us 6 months to go through and do all the Van Halen albums, because it's the 6th month here tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So it's, So, and we started doing the Van Halen shows, January this year?
No,
End of January?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's taken us 6 months.
Wow. That's crazy. 6 months. But look, I mean, there's a lot we go through, and obviously, Kurt's analysis, and he goes into it pretty deeply. I mean, he's Kurt's, we call him the Rev for a reason. He's basically his main source of inspiration outside of what he does in his normal life is Van Halen. So he knows so much about Van Halen. I'm sure Andrew and we thought we knew stuff about Van Halen till pretty much Kurt came along, and that's why he's part of the show now. And, we give him that credit where credit's due. Kurt's the Rev for a reason, It's 30, 40, what is it, 30 odd years of, studying Van Halen.
Since he was 8 or 9. But he's only 19, so that doesn't work. If he's only 19, how does he get 40 years?
No, he's having us on then.
No, but seriously, Brad is correct. If you guys aren't aware of this, we just started off doing the show talking about blues music. And it wasn't until we sort of kind of touched base with Steve Anderson after Eddie's passing, and Steve Anderson said, "Hey, let's do a show together." And we kind of thought, "Oh yeah, okay." So we did a show, didn't we? A couple of shows, and then with work commitments, he couldn't do the show. So Brad and I decided, "Oh well, look, we'll continue it. We'll get the rev on," because it sounded, like people were interested in what we're doing. So 6 months later, we still do that show intermittently, a couple of times a month.
Yeah, and that's the thing, we're doing it from with the shows like the 5150, where we're just going by what facts and everything that we've got, and we want people to contribute as well. So if they've got other things that they think or know, join in the chat. We encourage it. Just do it positively, and we want to keep it a positive place for everyone. So, we enjoy doing it because we're all passionate about the music. That's why we do it, though. So.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of things planned on the 5150 show for you guys here. So eventually we're going to go and do this DVD. We'll go through this DVD track by track, but Brad and I will talk about this a little bit on Saturday. And then after that, or maybe we might even do this one first, live without a net. So we're going to go through this DVD or VHS and go through that track by track, and you'll get all the in-depth analysis here and opinions. And then we're going to go through the Video Hits Volume 1, the unreleased songs, that weren't covered on the albums that we've ranked. Is that correct, bro?
That's it. Hey, the producer's in my ear, Andrew. He's saying something about a flame finger or something.
Oh!
You want to show that? And then I've got a tip.
Hold on.
I just thought of a tip.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Get it while it's hot. Hold on, guys.
Now it's time for Brad's Tech and Tone Tips.
Oh, dear.
Jesus, that's hilarious. All right, well, Lenny Kravitz, I know the solo to Are You Gonna Go My Way, so I haven't played it for a long time, so don't shoot me down if I didn't get it 100% right, but I'll show you Craig Ross's mixture of major and minor pentatonics, which is really cool. So the solo, we know the solo goes from that rhythm part where it's...
Yeah.
Wasn't perfect, guys, but what I wanted to demonstrate is how Craig goes from his major pentatonics, which is for guitar players, they'll understand this. For you. Then he goes to his that's the minor pentatonic. Sorry, I said major, minor. Yeah. Then he goes to the major, which is 1, 2. It's 3 down. Sorry, from that. So 1, 2, 3. So it's D major. Yep. So the same pattern. So he goes. Now it goes to the major pen. Then it goes back to the minor. Something like that. Anyway.
That single note is beautiful at the end, isn't it? That's just
It sings, and that's not with any drive, but he's using a little bit of like a tube screamer effect as well, which I've just put it on. So
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So that's pretty much what I wanted to. My tone tip for Lenny.
Thank you, bro. And we know someone really, really famous who's a core key component of a lot of the shows we do. Clapton is, the probably the guy that started it, maybe mixing those major and minor pentatonics. It's just, yeah, isn't it amazing to see and hear that, guys are still doing it?
I hear, like, I can't necessarily play it note perfect, but I hear the similarity to Crossroads from Cream. They're like I hear a lot of that in Craig Ross's playing. He's going between the major and minor pentatonics, which is what Clapton does a lot, especially in the Cream days, so much, So yeah, but yeah, that's anyway. So that's I love that Craig Ross does that. A lot of players do that as well, but I love his style. He's got a lot of Claptonism in his playing. He's got a lot of Jimmy Page. He's got a lot of all the stuff we love here on the British Electric Blues Show. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something I think certainly, that my mates heard, resonated within them that they never really kind of would have heard otherwise had they not had that situation of going, oh, wow, yeah. There's something going on, which is great. Lots of good comments. Lots of good comments about the playing. Tasty, man.
Thanks.
Really cool. Yeah.
It's totally off the cuff too, guys. I haven't practiced that for a long time, about a year or something. But what's the other one? Is There Any Love in Your Heart? He does a lot of that stuff where he goes from a minor pentatonic to a major on the finished note and things like that. So So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that's Clapton. Without a doubt, that's Clapton there to me. Jimmy Page as well, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Will's asking a really, really important question. And yes, if you have a look over here, there's a Firebird, and I am a big Johnny Winter nut. I every couple of days I post pics on my Facebook saying Johnny Winter pick of the day. So I love Johnny Winter. We will do. I guarantee within the next couple of months, we will be doing a Johnny Winter show. Because you've asked, well, you can pick the album. What album do you want us to deep dive? You tell us now, and that will be the album we'll do for you.
can't remember it. I used to know heaps of Johnny Winter stuff on guitar. I love it.
Brad plays through Marshalls. My man. Tasty playing. And that's coming from Brian.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, it's just one of those things. We all like the same things. We love it. So that's the thing. Johnny Winter would be amazing to do, actually. You know, I love that rock and roll hoochie coo, and you know, awesome.
Yeah, he's another guy that I loved. The skinny white dude, albino with this Firebird. You know, it's like, how can this guy be And then, you know, listening to his version of "Rock Me, Baby, Rock Me All Night Long," and I'm going, oh,
Yeah.
rock me, baby.
Yeah, there was one album that's one of the live ones where he comes out and he's playing like the intro of Boney Maroney for like 3 minutes of just guitar.
Yep.
And he's got the univibe going. It's sensational. Sensational.
That's one of my favorite albums.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Nothing but the blues.
Nothing but the blues.
Johnny Winter. And the first. Okay, yeah, the first two albums. Johnny Winter and First Winter. Gosh. The ones that came out in '69. Yeah. Man, we'll do them. That guy, blows me away. Dog park.
Yeah, I used to know all those songs, rock and roll, hoochie coo, and I haven't played them in maybe 15 years, but yeah, awesome.
Rock and roll, hoochie coo.
Yeah.
Dog Pa's saying a friend's dad grew up with Johnny Winter. My friend got to open a show for Johnny and got to meet him. He just got a smile and a wave. Wow. Yeah, because he's been through some rough times and some dark, because he was, doing things that probably, yeah.
A lot of those licks that Johnny plays, man, are sensational. They're just, sensational.
Thumb pick. Slide guitar player from, jeepers.
Who was the other guitarist you had with him in the 70s? Was it Rick
Derringer?
Mate, those two were phenomenal together.
And he had Stevie Ray Vaughan's bass player, Slut. What was his name? Tommy Shannon.
Yep.
That was his nickname, too, guys. That word that I said, that SLUT word.
Yeah, a lot of those licks, all those, they're all like Johnny Winter influence. There,
fast style. He had a fast style, didn't he? He was. Yeah. He would crank. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, he was. Full octane. Bro.
Yeah.
What a great show. We've been an hour and a half. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask Brad now, throw them in the chat, and depending on how long his answer is, otherwise we'll split and do some other things. But it's mate, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. It's always a pleasure hanging out with Simon, doing the Sunday show, doing some shows with the Rev. I look forward to catching up with you on Saturday, doing the Carnal Knowledge special. And just remember, guys, we're not going to dive deep. We're just going to talk about what that album means to us. And, if you guys are Van Halen nuts and Van Halen fans, we want to hear your opinions too.
100%. I'm working on getting someone to come in for maybe an hour or something on Saturday as well, but it's not confirmed yet, so I won't say anything. But hopefully it pulls off. Just haven't spoken to the person since the weekend. They haven't got back to me yet, so we'll see.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys something. We don't bullshit here, so share that stream, share that link, because the guy that Brad might get on is a guy that's been close to the action. He's been there. So if we get him on this stream, that will be great. If not, he's going to come on future shows. But hit that notification button, because it could be a coup for the channel. What's the guitar player's name? That guy there playing? His name is Brad Cook, and you can find him there. Here, hold on, Alan. Hold on, Alan. This is Brad. Where's Brad? Oh, there he is. Follow him there, Alan. Easy. Go to Instagram at Brad Cook Music.
Just all coming back, the Johnny Winter licks.
Absolutely. Brad is playing damn nice. We are very lucky to have him. He is a big part of our shows. The authenticity, the credibility that he's given our show, and the insight and the affection we get from him as well. You know, it's we can feel it, and it's genuine, and we're very happy with what we do here on our part of the YouTube world, and the fact that you guys are digging it is even more humbling. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
So Lenny's only a short fellow. He's 5'10", according to the Pride of Gothenburg. Yeah. That's a little jockey.
$5.10's not tiny though. I thought he was I thought he was when I met him. I just assumed he was like really tall from.
You thought he was a basketball player.
I thought he was like really tall from the look of him. That's all. When I was shocked that he wasn't so. But he was, he was very quiet. He had his sunnies on. Didn't really sort of, Top guy though. I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's a circus for him. That whole world. Steady on, Andrew.
Nothing wrong with a jockey. Someone's got to ride the horses. Someone's got to run around the block 4 times.
Yeah.
All right. Are we out of here? Are we out? We're going to split?
Yeah, let's split. I've had a great show. Thanks for joining in, guys. Hopefully I've encouraged you to check out some more Lenny Kravitz stuff. And I'm looking forward to, definitely doing a show on Johnny Winter. Big influence on me as a guitar player. That live album he did with Rick Derringer on guitar, where they come in, they do that big Johnny Winter must be walking out on stage. He's playing his guitar for like 2-3 minutes before the song starts. And it's just with that Univibe pedal going, and you can it's just phenomenal. Was it Boney Maroney, where they start open with Boney Maroney? It goes for like the intro goes for like 2-3 minutes before the band even starts. It's unreal. It's like, hey, not many people can do that. Walk out on stage and play an intro to a song, like guitar licking and like they're just playing for like a minute or two before the band even decides to come in. It's unreal.
Awesome. Hey, if anyone's in the chat wants to jump on and guest with us at any stage in the future, we always have that invitation for anybody. If you want to jump on, you got a computer, you've got some earphones, jeepers. Yeah, you can even do a live stream now on your phone. So you don't need, if you want to jump on and hang out with us and say hi, talk some rock and roll, tell us about what you like about music, show some guitars, Brad and I and Simon and the Rev, you know, we'll make something work. Get in touch with us. Drop us a comment, or get in touch with us on social media, and we'll sort something out. We'll always have an invitation for anyone that's a big part of our family here. Thank you. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and then I'm going to pass it on to Brad, and then we're going to split, and we want to wish you all safe and well things.
Yep. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm just going to have a quick look here. Mark, Tanner, Sonia, Dogpa, Simon. Thank you, Simon, for joining in, and I hope you can go off there and investigate a little bit of Lenny Kravitz. Definitely Mama Said album, buddy. Check that out. I think you'll like that one. That's right up your alley, I'm sure of it. Nelson, Mark Tanner, I think I've said Mark. Pride of Gothenburg, Alan Robinson, thank you, buddy. That's Brian. Thank you, Brian Spalding. Love to catch up with you on the show one time if I'm not gigging. Where are we? Will. Thank you, Will. Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. Arvin. Did I say Arvin before? I'm just looking through if I've missed anyone else. If I miss you guys, my apologies.
Say g'day to Deja Voodoo, because he's just jumped in. He's missed the show.
Deja Voodoo. Voodoo. Hopefully you can go back and check out the show, buddy. We had a really good chat about Lenny, good old Lenny Kravitz. I'm just brisking through. I'm not sure if I've got everyone else, but I apologize if I miss you guys in the chat here, because my comment section is a bit messed up at the moment. So my apologies, but thank you so much for joining us. I think we had about 20 odd people at one point there, Andrew, which is great.
Yeah, we'll the co-hosts will always endeavor to do shout outs, and we appreciate that, and sometimes we might interrupt when one of the co-hosts is talking, but generally speaking we don't try to do that, because if you're on to something, you want to it's we're guys and we can't concentrate on like 50 things at once. So when you're talking, we sort of like to sort of talk and then wait for a gap, say hello.
But hopeless at it. But also Johnny Bean, thank you. I remember seeing Johnny in there. Shouts out to Kurt 5150, and looking forward to catching up with you, buddy, when that, and Michael also for a great show the other day. More Clapton stuff. We've got more Clapton stuff coming up as well, which is great, and always great to hear other people that are so passionate about it, like delving into it and sharing the love. Thanks Deja Voodoo for coming on. Sonia, I think I said thank you, Sonia, and definitely Nelson, and Warren. Look forward to catching you soon. Warren.
That's it. And our brother who we haven't seen for a while in the chat, so and the reason why we miss Warren is because he's been so hilarious. He's just he's the guy that brings all the beer to the party. You got to have one of those friends. Well, Brad's got 20 of those friends.
Surprisingly, no. I don't. You would think I do, but I don't, unfortunately. Warren, we wish you all the best, buddy.
All right, we're out of here. Stay safe. Where's this video?
Brad Cook is in the chat now, and I posted a story earlier today and asked people, if you want to ask a question, you can put it in here. Brad didn't have a question. It was more of a suggestion. He said you need to collaborate with somebody from Australia.
Okay. Yes, please. And I mean, how much do we love Brad? Brad is the coolest. He's such a nice guy and such a great player. And again, that's the energy I'm talking about, like that kind of thing where I feel the love for the music first and foremost, when I hear his music. So and I would love to come to Australia, just always looking for real people to work with.
Right.
See what $5 gets you these days?
Oh wow.
All right. Seriously, guys, we're out of here.